birthday. I was going to get married that summer, and so my parents and I was getting married in France, and so my parents and I had checked out airfares to see if I could get just a one-way ticket to France and ship some of my personal items, and the cost was rather ridiculous. So as a lark, I looked into doing a crossing on the SS France, which at the time, it's now the Norway if you're familiar with cruise ships. At the time it was considered the luxury ocean liner, and it took 5 days to sail from New York to Le Havre, France. And as it turned out, it was way less expensive. So 19-year-old me hopped on board the ship with my trunks and boxes and suitcases, and just had a wonderful adventure. On my 20th birthday, I was on board and got to have my own celebration at the table with the people that we had been eating with, and then my friend and I just had a great time because I traveled with a girlfriend. We just had a great time exploring the ship and having fun. I arrived safely in France, not too much the worse for wear, and did end up getting married several months later. For our honeymoon, my husband and I had decided that we were going to have an adventure, and so we listened to the recommendations of a few friends of mine, a few college friends, and ended up going grape picking in the south of France, near Draguignan. The countryside was beautiful, the work was backbreaking, but the grapes were delicious. So here we were on our honeymoon, and for the first 2 days we were so exhausted that we would get back to the little tiny room in the little tiny village where we were staying and just fall asleep, just exhausted. But by the third day, we had been eating maybe not as much as we were picking, but we were certainly enjoying the delicious taste of grapes right off the vine. And by the third day, their revenge kicked in. It was a very uncomfortable time for both of us.
Just married.
Just married. Also, the rains began several days into our picking experience. So we were in the mud with raincoats, bent over, picking grapes. Anyway, I would just advise any of you out there listening to this, don't let your friends talk you into it. It's an adventure, not a good one for a honeymoon. 40 years later, when I remarried, my husband and I got married in May and traveled to France for our honeymoon, and also a study abroad. I guess I'm just destined to have unusual honeymoons. So here we were with 15 students in France, but on the day of my 60th birthday, we were at the Mont Saint-Michel. And I have to say it was one of the most extraordinary and memorable days of my life. When we returned back to Rouen with the students, my co-teacher from Cleveland State, my new husband, and I went to the only 5-star hotel lobby in Rouen and had champagne and hors d'oeuvres. And it was just the perfect end to the perfect day.